For Unit 3, Day 1 notes, this is over lines and angles. For the first definition, we're going to fill in parallel lines are coplanar lines that do not intersect. The symbol for these is those two little lines that are together. They're a little bit longer than a 1. So if I were to look here at AE, line AE, so we can say line AE is parallel to line BF. Now, line AE, it's also parallel to line DH. It's also parallel to line CG. All of these lines here will never touch each other. They're parallel. All right, for the second one, this one is called skew lines. So skew lines are non-coplanar. They are not parallel and they do not intersect. So a couple, or an example of this, if we look at line AB. Here's AB. And then we look at line CG here. You can see that they are not going the same direction, but they're never going to intersect. Okay? They're not necessarily parallel to each other. So these are considered skew. Okay, and then lastly for definitions, we're going to talk about parallel planes. And they're planes that do not intersect. So if we look at the shaded ones here, so plane ABC, so that's right here, ABC, and plane EFG, they in plane EHG. Alright, so these two planes, you can see that they're never going to intersect, so they are parallel to each other. So example 1, identifying non-intersecting lines and planes. So using the figure on the right to answer the following questions about lines and planes. Which segments are parallel to AB, segment AB? Alright, so we could say that segment EF would be parallel. We would also have CD and GH. So all of those are parallel to AB. Which segments are skew to CD? So we don't want them going in the same direction. They want to go in a different direction, but do not intersect with CD. So if we were to look here, BF is going an opposite direction. It's also going up and down, while CD is going like left to right here. So we can see that BF is a skew line. We also could say that AE is skew to CD. We also could say that HE or FG are skew to CD. So again, FG is not going the same direction as CD, and these two segments, if continued going left to right or up and down, they're never going to intersect. What are two pairs of parallel planes here in letter C? So I'm going to go with the top and the bottom. So this plane here, so plane ABC is parallel to plane at the bottom. We can say EFG. And then lastly, what are two segments parallel to plane BCGF? So this back plane, what's parallel to that? What two segments? Well, I would say AE and DF. And DH. I think I said the wrong letter. Okay, a transversal is a line that intersects two or more coplanar lines at a distinct point. So let me show you an example of what that would look like in the next part. So right here we have these two lines in the same plane, line L and line M. And this line right here, line T, this is the transversal. And then we have a bunch of angle relationships here. So this is when we start talking about these different vocabulary terms for angles that are formed when there's a transversal drawn. And that transversal is where it cuts through here. So for example, alternate interior angles. So if you look at line L and M, this inside part is your interior. And if you're talking about alternate, you're talking about opposite sides. So if I look, angle 3 and angle 5, they're in the interior of line L and M, but they're on alternating sides of the transversal. So for an example, we would pair angle 3 and 5 together as alternate interior angles. We also could say that angle 4 and 6 are also interior angles, alternate interior angles. Okay, now same side interior angles. So again, we're going to be on the interior, so in the middle of L and M, okay? If they're on the same side, that would be like 3 and 6 would be paired up, or 4 and 5 would be paired up. So we're going to say angle 3 and angle 6. Those are same side interior angles. Also, angle 4 and 5 are alternate interior angles. Sorry, same side interior angles. Okay, now corresponding angles, angles that lie on the same side of the transversal and in corresponding positions. So let's just go with angle 1 first. So angle 1's on top of line L, on the right side, sorry, the left side of the transversal. So angle 5 is on the top of line M, also on the left side of the transversal. So 1 and 5 are corresponding. Then we could say 4 and 8 are both corresponding. So same side of the transversal, and they're underneath each of the lines. So then looking at the other side, 2 and 6 would be corresponding, and then 3 and 7 would be corresponding. Okay, and then lastly, alternate exterior angles are not adjacent exterior angles that lie on opposite sides of the transversal. So I want to go with angles 1, 2, 8, and 7. They're on the exterior of line L and M, and they have to be on alternate sides. So if I look at 1, then the opposite side below would be 7. So angle 1 and 7. And then we would also say 2 and 8 form alternate exterior angles. So down here it says which pair of alternate interior angles is there. So if we look, we're looking on the inside of M and N, so that's going to be this part here. So we can say 2 and 6 or 3 and 7. So I see that we have a 2 and 6 here. So I would say that B is that relationship, alternate interior angles. In example 3, it says that we have to classify the following pairs of angles as alternate interior, same side interior, corresponding, or alternate exterior. So 2 and 3. All right, so they're on the interior, in the inside of M and N. They're on the same side. So these would be same side interior angles. Okay, 1 and 5, so they are on the exterior, and they are on opposite sides or alternate sides of the transversal R. So we would say alternate exterior angles. Okay, then we have 8 and 6. So one's on the exterior, one's on the interior. They're both above each one of the lines there, M and N. So I would say these are corresponding. Okay, and then at the bottom, this is just kind of a review of locations. So it says that we have to highlight the parallel lines. Okay. So I'm going to use this blue color. So that would be these here. It says that I have to highlight the transversal. And it says to highlight the exterior area. So I'm going to go with orange. That would be this right here. And then the interior, of course, would be between the two parallel lines. Oh, I need to mark it here on the key. So there is a good example of how you should highlight it.